Hello guys, this is Mudassir Ali, one of the Enterprise DNA Expert member, and we are at the fifth round of the Problem of the Week initiative. And this week was also a success, and we got some submissions from our members. And what I found really impressive about these submissions was that participants not just provided the DAX solution, but they also created a dashboard-like report along with the DAX solution. So in this video, I'll show you how I approached this particular problem, but first I'll show you the submissions we got for this particular challenge. The requirement was to calculate the dynamic last and weeks trend. I'm not going to go into detail about the requirement, but if you want to see the requirement, you can go to the Enterprise DNA forum and go to the problem of the week number 5. So here is the requirement I laid out, and there is also a video where Brian and I discuss about this particular problem, so you can check it out for the in-depth requirement of this challenge. And now I'm going to show you the submissions we got. So first I want to show you that I wanted the solution in this format. This is a simple format and nothing really fancy, but if you can see, the members really provided the solutions in a dashboard style format, which I really like. And Greg also provided the submission in which you can see the range you are filtering in the report. So it's a pretty useful thing to have in your report if you have a lot of filtering going on. And another one I want to show you is the JB Risan's submission. That's quite cool how he has laid out this dates timeline style format. And Brian also provided the solution in which you can see the trend. I really like this type of trend, which is really easy to see. For example, green means the cases have been going down, and red means that this particular country has to buckle up and take some actions, and the yellow trend means that the cases have been somewhat constant throughout the weeks. So having said that, now we can jump in to see how I approach this particular problem. So the data set I provided was like the data contains the number of cases only till 11th of Jan. If you can see the data, the last COVID cases we received was at 11th of Jan 2021, but the problem is the date table we have, it goes all the way through to December 31st 2021. To fix this problem, what I did first was to make use of the week offset which is present in our date table. For example, if I go to week offset, you can see that the minimum date, that is the 1st January 2020, has the least number of week offset, and as we go down, you can see the latest date has the highest number of week offset. So the requirement was to calculate the last n weeks trend excluding the current week. So our current week would be, here is the week offset. So our current week is this one, 11th of Jan, because we have the data till 11th of Jan only. And 11th of Jan has the week offset -4. So we want the number of cases before the week offset -4, or you can say before the week of 11th of Jan. So we need the number of cases from -5 till whatever the criteria we mentioned in our report. So to tackle this first requirement, what I did was I set up the maximum date limit and what it is doing, it's taking the maximum date of the COVID cases we have in our data set, that is 11th of Jan. For example, if we want to check the result, what we can do, we can throw in a card visual, and we can say next date to check our result. So you can say it says the last date is 11th of Jan 2021. So then what I did was I took the maximum week offset -1, because we don't want to include the current week, right? And what this condition is doing, it's saying that our date in the date table should be less than or equal to this date. And when this condition is set, what max function would do, it will only take the week offset number that is at the 11th of Jan 2021 -1. If I want to test this result, we can throw in the card visual again. So you can see the week offset upper limit is -4. It will be -4 even if we change our weeks parameter. So this is what we wanted in the first place. So the next thing to do would be to calculate the last n weeks cases, and these cases should be dynamic according to the week selection in the parameter box. So first what I did was I created some variables. For example, the week number selected, what it's doing, it's selecting the weeks parameter that we created with the help of what if parameters, right? So here you can go and you can create your parameters. So the main reason of using the selected value with week selection parameter is that if you go to data model, you can see that we have no relationship with this week selection parameter box to any of our other tables, right? So after that, what I have said is the upper limit is the week offset upper limit that we saw previously, and this is a max date. This is the max date that we have in our COVID data table. I mentioned the variable for the current date also, and this is what we discuss about it later. We will discuss about this later. So first, what I want to do, I want to limit my week offsets. So for that, what I did was I used a calculate table function. It is better to create your virtual tables in DAX Studio. So we will go to DAX Studio and see how it looks like, how the result looks like for the calculate table function. Evaluate. So I'm not going to type it everything. I'm just trying to copy this from here and to DAX Studio. So you can see, you saw that our upper limit was -4. So I'm just typing it out here, and what if we try to run the result? You can see that our week offset is going from -57 to -4. So we have limited our week offsets to just -4, from -4 to -57. And then what I wanted to do, I want to calculate the latest n weeks offset. What does this mean is I use the top n function. You will see it shortly what I meant by that. And with the top end function, what I did was I wanted the date or week offset in descending. Descending means from the maximum number to the lowest number. So I can just copy it out over here, and I need to go 4 weeks before my current week. For example, if I type in 4, comma, if I want to see the result, you can see our week offset is going from -4, -5, -6, -7. Now another hurdle we have achieved. So now what I want to do, I want to show our number of cases in these weeks. So what I did next, what I threw in the add columns function, and in the add columns what I did was I wanted a virtual table for the number of cases, virtual column I mean, and I wanted the virtual column for the total cases. So if we see the results now, you can see that we have in this particular row, in this particular week offset, we have 3392643 cases. Let's try to check it out in a table visual. So we can verify our results. -3 is the current week. So you can see that we don't have the current week over here. -4, 3392, -5, -7, 303. So far so good. The results have been looking pretty good, and we are going back to this our working page. And now once I have these results, what I have done next is I summed all these cases by using the sumx function, and what sumx function did, it iterated all these week offset and found this particular you can say virtual table, and summed all these cases. So this was the hard part that we have done. Now what we will do, we will see the last number of cases dynamically. Now we can see our last number of cases dynamically now. So you can see the number of weeks is 2. What if I try to go to 4? So it's giving us the result to last 4 weeks cases, right? And the next part was to calculate the trend percentage and new trend. If I go to new trend percentage, I have to show the result here first. So you can see the trend percentage. So for the trend percentage, what we have done is we have divided last n weeks cases to the weeks before last n weeks cases. For example, we saw that for the last n weeks cases, we summarized all the cases for like week offset -4, -5, -6, -7. So this means for the weeks before last n weeks cases would be -8, -9, -10, -11. These are the last n weeks cases, and these are the weeks prior to the last n weeks cases. For example, if the 4 weeks are selected, then it will go -8, -9, -10, -11, and sum all these cases, and then we'll divide this by to these last n weeks cases. So this is how we got our trend percentage. And the requirement was also to show the trend by the icons. So this is the measure I created. For example, if the trend percentage is greater than 8%, then this means the cases have been rising up or the cases have been increasing. But if it's less than 0, this means cases are on the decline, but it's in between 0 and 8%, then the cases are stable. To calculate the weeks before last and weeks cases, all the steps were same except this one. So we have used here week offset upper limit, that is -4, and what we have done is we are subtracting minus week selection number of weeks. So it's basically subtracting this the number of weeks from this dynamic box. So what if we try to see what's happening over here? We can go and check this result out. That's why I use variables in my DAX measures. You can check your results as you go along. If I throw in my card visual, so you can see -8. It's starting from -8. If I go to 2 weeks, so it's starting from -6. So now we can go back to our result. And the next requirement was to show the result in small multiple visual also. Why I wanted people to explore this feature? Because I wanted them to go to the settings of the small multiple feature. For example, you can go to small multiple title. I wanted the title just at the bottom left side of the line charts, so they can play around with this, with the titles position, right? But the next problem what I saw after creating all these measures, after getting correct results in our table visual but not my small multiple visual, so then what I tried to bring in my dates in tooltips. So you can see that my small multiple visual is still showing the results after 11th January 2021, but the problem is we don't have any results after 11th of Jan 2021. So there are two ways you can fix this problem. So to fix this problem, what I did was I went back to my measure, and what I did was I limit the date. For example, I just wanted the result on or after 11th of January 2021. So you can see that current date means our date table, and restricting our date table to our max date, which is 11th January 2021. And then I use this variable in my if condition. For example, if the date is on or after 11th of Jan 2021, then I want blank. Otherwise I need the last and weeks cases. And if I use this variable now and go back to check, it's all good. But there is another way you can tackle this problem. For example, if I use this one again, last 10 weeks cases, okay, you can go to your filter pane. You can bring in your date column and you can say advanced filtering. I only want the results is on or before 11th Jan 2021. So you can see you can get the same result with the filter pane also. Here is how I got my solution to work, and we saw many interesting ways and many creative ways of approaching the same problem in the submissions we have got so far. I hope you liked the solution, and if you haven't gotten into these challenges, then you can still go and try it out yourself. And if you are stuck somewhere, you can totally get help from forum members. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't done it already to remain up to date about the latest content at Enterprise DNA. And I think that's it from my side, and see you in the next video.